I wanted to share with you on how to fill out a financial statement in a family law case here in the Maine district courts. So, in every divorce case, the parties, both plaintiff and defendant, are required to fill out a financial statement. I describe this financial statement as something that applies to everyone from Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos down to the rest of us. And so that's why it's 11 pages. If you were to go through this and see that it's 11 pages, it's got things on here that's not going to necessarily apply to you or be applicable, but it's important to kind of read through it and to fill in the information for any of the things that you do have. So at the top here, if you were the plaintiff in the case, you would put the plaintiff's name here. And let's say it's Jane Doe. If it's the defendant and that's who you are, you would put the defendant's name, the court location. So if it's in Biddeford, you could put Biddeford. If it's in, Portland, you'd put it in Portland here. You would also put the docket number right here. And usually that's created using, it's in the sheets that you have from the, you might have gotten a clerk's notice, a status conference or case management conference notice, but you would put that docket number right here. And often it's usually the location plus DC for district court, FM, the year that it was filed, and then any case number after that. If you're the plaintiff, you would check plaintiff. If you were the defendant, you would check defendant box here. Again, you want to make sure that you are honest and completely forthcoming when it comes to the accuracy of the paperwork here. The parties are often required to file this at least once, most often several times, because things might change, like account balances and such. So if you own real estate, you would put the address, who's on the deed, county, book, and page, which you can find by going to Googling Maine Registry of Deeds, and you can access that information. When was the property acquired? A fair market value for that, if you know that. Sometimes you can have a real estate agent do a comparative market analysis, or the parties can agree to have an appraiser do it. Debt owed is going to be how much is left on the mortgage if there's a mortgage on the property. And then, is it non-marital? In other words, did you get this from an inheritance? Did you own it before the marriage? Things like that. If it is, you would say yes. If you got the property after the marriage, then you would put no, it's not non-marital. Kind of a double negative. Doesn't make sense, but that's what it is. So you would do that for any property that you own, real estate. Motor vehicles, again, same kind of scenario. When did you acquire it? What's the make, model, year? Who's on the title? An estimate of the fair market value. You can Google Kelly Blue Book, put it in there, and again, balance due. Look up the outstanding loan balance on it. And the same thing, is it marital or non-marital? Tangible property over 500, so the bigger items of property. The court doesn't really concern itself with smaller, and we say smaller, but under 500. But that's what you would put down here. Cash amount that you have in your possession that's not in a bank account. So if you have cash in a safe, cash stored under a mattress or something like that. Bank accounts, name of a bank, who's on the account, yourself, you and your spouse. Maybe it's you and your mother, or you and your father, you and your children, whatever it might be. If you're on a bank account, you need to list it here. The account number, you could get away with putting the suffix so we don't have all that information on there. And then the type of account, savings or checking, and then the balance. And again, is it marital or non-marital? Retirement accounts, pensions, IRAs, 401ks, 503, any type of retirement account that you might have, you put that here. Who is the plan administrator or the account holder? The type of plan, that's where you would put the name there, type pension, 401k, etc. And then what's the balance? You get statements from your retirement account company. You can contact them, but you want to put that balance there. And again, is it non-marital, marital? You list all that you might have. Investment accounts, mutual funds. If you own stocks, bonds, investment accounts, brokerage, things like that, you put that here. Business interests. If you own a business, if you're self-employed, you list the name of the business, the type of business. Do you own all of it? Do you own 50% of it? Whatever it might be. Is there any debt associated with that business? And then what's the fair market value? You might not know that. You could put unknown. You would try to give the best valuation that you can if possible. And again, is it marital or non-marital? If it was set up after the date of marriage, then it's going to be presumed to be marital. If you have a life insurance policy, you put that information here. This is, term life. If there's a term life insurance policy, there might not be a cash value. If it's a whole life policy, then there could be a cash value, but that you put that information here. Are you involved in any current lawsuits and claims? For example, a personal injury car accident case, is there one pending? Who filed it? When was it? Etc. Income tax returns for the last 2 years. You put that information here. How did you file it? Was it joint or individual? Was it a federal tax? Did you get a refund? Did you pay? And you do the same thing for the state. Debts. This is where you would put down, credit card debts. What's the card number, card name? Do you have a personal loan? Do you have a home equity loan? Do you have a HELOC and things like that? You put that information here. What was the purpose of the debt? Is it just household goods? Is it to pay for attorneys? Things like that. And again, what's owed on it? What's the monthly payment being owed? So the balance, what's monthly payment being made? And is it marital or non-marital? And you put down the total monthly debt payments. So all of those card payments or all those loan payments you got to make, you would put that total here. The income expenses, if somebody's helping you live in that house, wherever you might be, that's not the plaintiff or defendant, you'd put that here. You indicate whether you're employed or not, your employer's name, how many paychecks do you receive, what is your gross income as of, and you put the date. So far this year, whatever that date might be. My gross income and taxes from last year, how'd you file it? How many exemptions? That information is going to typically be on the first couple pages of your last tax return. Have you filed for bankruptcy in the last 5 years? Yes or no? My gross, weekly, biweekly, whatever income before taxes is, and you would list all of these things here. And just take a look over here because there's a lot of examples of what income might be considered. So pay attention to that. If you're receiving spousal support from another marriage, you'd put that information there. That gives you a total monthly, weekly, whatever it might be. You just want to make sure you're consistent with how this income is being earned. Is it monthly, weekly, whatever it might be? So you just want to be consistent with that. Here's some other money that you might get. It's not calculated as income, but if you're getting TANF, if you're getting child support of this relationship, not of a relationship, foster care payments if you're a foster care parent, and DHHS. So you put the total. These are your deductions. So if these are deductions you're having taken out of your paycheck, you would list some of these things down there. Monthly living expenses, you're going to put down what your living expenses are per month for mortgage, rent, HELOC or second mortgage, real estate. And if any of this applies to you, find that information on the tax bill, the gas bill, your cell phone bill, and put that down here. They have added things for streaming services, for example, or internet. And again, you get a subtotal, transportation expenses, how much you pay per month for vehicles, repairs, car insurance, gas. If you take ride shares, bus or train, you'd list that here. That gives you a subtotal. These are your personal expenses for various items, per month. Again, they're trying to maintain that consistency of being a monthly expense. What does that equal to? What are the costs for the children, if you have any, that you pay for, and that gives you a total amount here. You would check these boxes saying, yes, I certify that the information is complete and based on my personal knowledge, information, and belief. I will send opposing counsel my federal tax returns for the last 2 years and 3 recent pay stubs before mediation. So it's in bold, 3 days before. And I swear under the penalty of perjury that if I essentially lied under oath for filling this out, then I could be responsible for it. You would date it, and you would wait to sign it in front of a notary. It has to be notarized. You'd put your information here. If you had an attorney, the attorney's number, name, and things like that would go here. But if being a pro se person or being somebody who's doing this on their own, you would complete that right here. I hope you found this information helpful regarding on how to fill a financial statement out in the Maine district courts for a divorce case.